sleep on top of these blankets here. Yeah, so I just sleep on top of the blankets. It's actually not so bad. It's cold though. It's wicked cold. And I take sleeping bags and I put it on top of me.
Marquette, Michigan, a town known for its beauty and history, is facing a hidden crisis: homelessness. As winter's cold takes hold of the Upper Peninsula, more and more people are finding themselves without a home.
It sucks. It's getting colder and colder, and they keep moving us around. Like, where did they expect us to go? Like, we have totally nowhere to go. Every spot that we have to camp, they come and kick us out.
This problem isn't distant. It's unfolding right here in our own backyard. How did we get to this point? And what can be done to make a change? In this documentary, we will explore the lives of those living on the streets of Marquette and the challenges they face. We'll also look at potential solutions to help end the crisis and provide hope for the future. Homelessness in Marquette may not grab headlines, but it's a quiet crisis that affects this close-knit community in profound ways. Unlike the sprawling cities of Detroit or Chicago, where homelessness is often counted in the thousands, Marquette's homeless population is usually in the low hundreds. But that doesn't make it any less real. Each person without a home has a unique story, and in a town as small as Marquette, their struggles are felt by everyone. Take Autumn, for example. At just 23 years old, she found herself abandoned by her father in Marquette with nowhere to go. Her only option for survival was to seek refuge at Room at the Inn, a local shelter that provides support for individuals facing crisis situations. Autumn's story is just one of many representing the broader issues many people face here. The homeless population in Marquette includes young adults who have aged out of foster care veterans, struggling with PTSD, and locals who can no longer afford to live in a town where housing costs have risen sharply.
It's not, people don't choose to sleep out in the street. Like, homelessness can happen to anyone.
Many also suffer from mental health issues or substance abuse, which are made worse by the limited resources available. In addition, Marquette's Native American community faces systemic barriers to housing, adding another layer of difficulty to an already fragile situation. The harsh winter months in Marquette only compound the severity of the problem. With temperatures often dropping well below zero, homelessness here isn't just an inconvenience, it's a life or death situation. A night spent outdoors in conditions that can reach a 20 degrees Celsius can be a matter of survival. What makes Marquette's homelessness crisis stand out is its contrast against the town's idyllic small-town charm. In larger cities, homelessness might go unnoticed amid the hustle and bustle, but in Marquette, it's impossible to ignore. Whether it's someone wrapped in layers of clothing on a park bench or standing outside a cafe, it's a stark reminder that homelessness isn't just a big city problem, it's happening everywhere, even in places like this. And the urgency to act has never been more pressing. To understand why homelessness is becoming a growing issue in Marquette, we need to consider several underlying factors. The most pressing of these is financial instability. Marquette's economy relies heavily on industries such as tourism, education, and healthcare, with Northern Michigan University being one of the largest employers. While these sectors provide jobs, they often offer low wages, making it hard for people to keep up with the rising cost of living. Rent for even a modest apartment can take up half of someone's paycheck, leaving little room for other expenses. For many, a single unexpected financial setback, like a missed paycheck, a medical emergency, or an unexpected car repair, can quickly lead to homelessness. Social factors also play a major role. Like many small rural towns, Marquette faces a shortage of mental health services and addiction treatment. For individuals struggling with mental health issues, PTSD, or substance abuse, accessing the support they need can be incredibly difficult. Without proper assistance, these challenges often spiral into job loss, eviction, and eventually homelessness. Family issues such as domestic violence or estrangement can also leave individuals with nowhere to turn, worsening their situation even further. Take Drew's story, for example. In his 40s, Drew worked steadily at a local factory for years. But after an accident left him with chronic pain, he could no longer meet the physical demands of his job. Unable to keep up with bills, Drew eventually lost his home. His experience is far from unique. Many in Marquette face similar situations where health problems and financial struggles collide, pushing them closer to homelessness. Environmental factors also contribute to the crisis. Marquette's harsh winters, with temperatures regularly falling below freezing, make homelessness more than just uncomfortable. It can be life-threatening. Surviving a Marquette winter without shelter is nearly impossible. The town's isolation adds to the challenge, as being far from larger cities means fewer resources and limited access to help. Additionally, there is a growing shortage of affordable housing. New developments often cater to students or tourists, leaving low-income residents with fewer options. So why haven't we been able to fix this problem? The issue is clear, yet the solutions often seem elusive. What do you think is the biggest barrier to solving homelessness in a small town like Marquette, and what can we do to make a change? Tackling homelessness in Marquette is no easy feat, and the challenges are many. One of the most pressing issues is the scarcity of resources. With a population of around 20,000, Marquette lacks the funding and infrastructure that larger cities can rely on. Shelters like Room at the Inn depend on donations and volunteers, but these resources can quickly run dry, especially when financial support is scarce. This makes it difficult to provide consistent aid to those who need it most. Another challenge is reaching the individuals who are often reluctant to seek help. Some avoid shelters due to stigma, safety concerns, or mental health struggles. The isolation of Marquette, nestled in the Upper Peninsula, only adds to the problem. Being so far from larger cities means that bringing in supplies or experts is costly and time-consuming, making timely assistance even more difficult. When winter hits, the situation becomes even more dire. Basic tasks like distributing blankets become a race against time, as every minute without warmth can be life-threatening. The brutal cold makes it nearly impossible to keep people safe from the elements, and resources that should be easily available are often far out of reach. While affordable housing is frequently mentioned as part of the solution building, it is another hurdle. Zoning laws, limited land, and local resistance to change often prevent new housing projects from moving forward. Even when proposals are made, they face significant opposition, stalling progress. These obstacles are frustrating, but they highlight the harsher reality of tackling homelessness in a small town. The most heartbreaking part, though, is the human cost. Every day we wait, someone is out there struggling to survive in the cold. Homelessness isn't just a statistic, it's a reality we face every day. What's stopping us from overcoming these barriers and making a real difference? Efforts to address homelessness in Marquette are well-intentioned but still developing. Local organizations like Room at the Inn offer shelter meals and a safe haven during the harsh winter months, while churches and nonprofits contribute through food drives and clothing donations. The city has also partnered with state programs such as those funded by HUD to provide rental assistance and affordable housing options. However, these efforts often serve as temporary fixes with limited shelter beds and a severe shortage of affordable housing, especially for families or individuals with complex needs. Looking to the future, there are promising solutions on the horizon. The Housing First model, which prioritizes permanent housing before addressing issues like addiction or mental health, has seen success in places like Salt Lake City. Marquette could consider adopting this approach, possibly by converting vacant properties into low-income housing units. Expanding job training programs in local industries such as tourism, healthcare, and renewable energy could also help people regain stability. Increasing access to mental health through an addiction treatment would further help prevent individuals from falling into homelessness. Collaboration is essential. The local government, businesses, and residents must come together, combining resources and ideas to create lasting change. In fact, other communities like Finland have shown that comprehensive housing programs can nearly eliminate homelessness. As this documentary explores, Marquette doesn't need to reinvent the wheel, it simply needs the will to act. Addressing homelessness in Marquette is a complex challenge with numerous obstacles. One of the biggest issues is the limited availability of resources. With a population of around 20,000, Marquette lacks the funding and infrastructure that larger cities can rely on. Shelters, like Room at the Inn, depend on donations and volunteers, But these resources often dwindle, especially during tough times, making it difficult to meet the growing demand for help. Moreover, reaching the most vulnerable individuals is another struggle. Many people avoid shelters due to stigma, safety concerns, or mental health issues, which makes providing support even harder. Marquette's location in the Upper Peninsula only exacerbates these difficulties. Being far from major urban centers and resource hubs means that getting supplies or specialists to the area is costly and time-consuming. When winter hits, the situation becomes even more dire. Tasks that might seem simple in warmer months, like distributing blankets or ensuring warmth, become urgent and life-threatening. The freezing temperatures pose a serious risk to those who have no shelter. Affordable housing is often seen as a solution, but developing it in Marquette comes with its own set of challenges. Zoning laws limited available land, and resistance from local residents who fear changes to their neighborhoods all hinder progress. Even when affordable housing proposals are made, community opposition often derails them, leaving the demand for housing unmet. These challenges are significant, and the reality of homelessness in Marquette is heartbreaking. What troubles me the most, however, is the human cost of inaction. Every day we delay, someone is out there fighting to survive in the cold. So what's really holding us back from overcoming these barriers and making a real difference for those in need? Living in small towns has greatly influenced who I am today. There's something special about places like Marquette, where everyone knows each other, where neighbors wave from their porches, and where the community is quick to come together for a cause. It's a place that feels like family. But when it comes to homelessness, seeing it in a small town like this feels different. It's not just an issue I read about or hear on the news. It's a problem that touches the heart of the community. It feels personal. When someone is struggling on the streets, it's hard not to think that they could be a neighbor, a friend, or even a family member. It's difficult to walk past someone sitting on Superior Street, wrapped in layers of clothing, their eyes showing a mix of pain endurance and a glimmer of hope. It strikes you deeply and forces you to think about what our community truly stands for. We often pride ourselves on being a close-knit town, but if we can't care for everyone, especially the most vulnerable, what does that say about us? Are we truly living up to the values we claim to hold? Homelessness isn't just a problem of statistics or policies. It's about real human lives, people with their own stories, hopes, and challenges. In a place like Marquette, where we're all so closely connected, we have the chance to make a meaningful difference. We can set an example for other towns, showing that even small communities can show compassion to those in need. We can create a standard of care that others will follow. But it starts with us, the residents, the leaders, every single one of us. We need to choose to be part of the solution, prioritizing compassion over complacency. I know this won't be easy. It will take time, effort, and resources, and there will be tough conversations along the way. But if we can't address homelessness in a place like Marquette, where we're all so close, where else can we solve it? I believe we can do better, but it has to start now, and it requires all of us. What do you think we could do as a community right now to make a lasting difference? Conclusion. Homelessness in Marquette is a silent but pressing issue that cannot be overlooked. It's not just about the people we see on the streets. It's about the underlying economic pressures and social disparities that lead to this crisis. Our community is feeling the strain, and the need for action has never been more urgent. Marquette has the heart to address this with shelters, outreach programs, and new solutions on the horizon. But to make a real difference, we all need to be part of the effort. It will take time, resources, and a collective commitment to change. Let's build a city where no one has to face the cold alone, where home is a reality, not just a dream. The question is, what role will you play in making that a reality for all?